big problem once again with the new royal children. That is, the royal children that is. As ever, though, let me explain. Hi, good morning. Nice to have your company. Hope you're keeping well. Whatever you're doing, shall we have a big wave? Have you got the energy today? I know. You have to have those moments of energy, don't you? People laugh when I say this, but I've just, as we all know, been suffering for the art with a cold, and you do feel like, oh. And then you have moments where you think, oh, I could do that, don't you? Like the ironing, putting things away, boring jobs where you think, I might sweep that backyard. You get the brush out and think, I'll just look at the backyard. You're like me, aren't you? That's the problem we have. Let's have a wave. Hope you're all keeping well, whatever you do today. Wave back and watch it. I can see, yes, that's a half-hearted affair. Get back into the groove, absolutely. Back as ever to your Breaking Roll story of the day. Now, the bottom line with this story is, of course, it was a bit of a revelationary week, wasn't it, when the Buckingham Palace website announced that the two children of Prince Harry and the former actress Meghan Markle were now going to be, well, basically prince and princesses. Lots of people are unhappy about this. Now it's really building to a momentum, simply because when you think about it, we know so very little about these particular children. In fact, the only thing we've seen, and only that senior members have seen, are snatches from the Netflix documentary and one or two snapettes when they came over for the Platinum Jubilee, when they were living in that terribly tiny cottage, Frogmore. The one that they complained about and then they didn't like it, so they had to move well back to Montecito in California. What's interesting here, though, is as this particular thing develops, now the British public is saying, well, yes, actually, all very well that you now require titles, even though apparently the family that you wanted to distance yourself from were alleged racists, whichever way you look at it. There was Meghan Markle on international television saying there were various conversations about the skin colour. And then, of course, Prince Harry backed her up. If that isn't racism, then, well, what is? But now the bigger picture is this. Many people have cited the fact that, well, look, if you want them to be titled prince and princesses, and the bottom line is, it is, a constitutional right. They are allowed that. They're not allowed the HRH at this particular stage until that's conferred upon them by His Majesty the King, whoever that may be. Then, of course, they want to see more of them. They feel it's a natural right. This is a real hot potato. The bigger picture is this. A lot of people are very suspicious about the background to the children, and in particular the fact that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry wanted to keep everything so privately. If you recall, when Archie's birth certificate was placed in front of Buckingham Palace, as they all were, all royal children have been on that royal easel, that remained unsigned. Now, this was apparently because Meghan and Harry wanted to keep things private. But you can't have it two ways, can you? If you want privacy, then don't go for worldwide titles that are going to be useful, that could be monetized moving forward. And if you do want to be part of the British monarchy, then get involved. Why did you then want to run away? Why did you trash them on international television? But it's back to the children. Over here in the United Kingdom and across the Commonwealth, particularly in areas like Australia, New Zealand and Canada that have a very strong association naturally with our wonderful British monarchy, they feel that it's a case of smash and grab. We've got the titles, we've got what we need, but actually what do you, the British public, the taxpayer, receive in return for this? They have the opportunity, Harry and Meghan, to use the royal website. And that is a very, very powerful tool indeed. Millions of people log on to that website every single day. Yet, once again, we know nothing about the children. They decided, of course, to release that press release about the christening and the details to a tabloid magazine. So it wasn't official from Buckingham Palace until, more or less, their hand was forced. It seems to a lot of people over here that Harry and Meghan are quite happy for their children to take the titles, but seemingly to give nothing back in return. And this is going to mount and mount unless they feel they see a little bit more of these particular now associated royal children in all but name. As ever, it's a developing story, and when I know more, you'll know more. Neil Sean in the very heart of England.